and $20 and bark like a dog and little balls, whatever, yeah, that. Just make my debt disappear and I'll call you the greatest of all time. Up and until then, y'all had a good time so far? Yeah. I don't believe it. Let's try it again. Y'all had a good time so far? Yeah. All right, real quick. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Jody. Happy birthday, Jody. All right. It is now the time you've been waiting for. Or if you ain't been waiting for it, it's still that time. We don't really care. It's time for our featured poet. Make some noise for the featured poet. Damn, I haven't heard a round of applause like that in a long time. One more time. Make some noise for the featured poet. I truly love this brother. It's been a long time since we first met. It's always nice to like brothers that are bigger than you. I'm 6'2", 250 some odd pounds, and he stands next to me and I feel svelte. I'm like, yeah. Perry's in the building. I'm small as shit now. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. But hey, I heard that. I'm fat. I'm not deaf. This brother is the scene of poetry in Philadelphia. If you've heard of PYP, make some noise. He is the creative director for PYPM. If you heard of, what is it, Verses and Flows, make some noise. He was featured on this year's season of Verses and Flows. If you've heard of CNN, make some noise. He was part of Soledad O'Brien's documentary on race and blah, 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 blah. All that stuff. If you're down with Philly, make some noise. Straight out of North Philly. I can do this all day. I know a lot about you.
Go in.
Oh, word? Go in? He's like, wait a minute. No, I'm not letting Marcus go. There'll be all kinds of problems out here. His parents be up here, be like, sign him away. It's over. But on the real, there's been a lot of stuff said up here tonight about what's going on in our beloved country right now. I'm gonna say it's beloved because we still live here, because if you really hated it, you get the fuck out. So our beloved country has some problems right now. And if the announcement happened at 10 o'clock, at 10:01, this brother was in the street making some noise on behalf of what's wrong. And that's easy to do, because you can open your mouth and make some noise. But when you open your mouth and say enough to make other people want to open their mouth, and then you say enough to make those people tell other people to open their mouth, and all those people get together, they show up at City Hall and shut the whole motherfucking place down, that's power. That's what this brother is about. That's what that brother did. Give him a round of applause for social justices. And if I tell you any more, his mom might have to owe me a couple dollars. So for that, no further ado, please put your hands together, open your ears, open your minds, and open your hearts for my man, Vision the Poet!
You ever get somebody give you an intro and you're like, who the hell are they talking about? Marcus just did, like, what are you talking about? My name is Vision. And apparently the mic don't want to work with me. I just want to say before I do anything, thank you to the collective, not just for featuring me tonight, but for continuing the legacy of Philly. Like, I've been on the scene since '01, and I've become like a senior member on the scene. I don't know, I don't even feel old. Like, I still feel young. I still feel like I got so much more to like offer. I've been on the scene since '01 in Philly, and for me, nothing is more important than the legacy. You know, I want to do something when they're here, but what's most important to me is like what you leave when you're gone. Like when you're when you're on to the next thing, what you leave is the most important thing. So thank you to the collective for that. As well as some other venue hosts in the house, Ian, Tammy Chasm, I've known for years, and Marcus doing his thing, Marquis doing his thing, and I appreciate y'all, I really, really do. I'm gonna read some poems. And I have a new book. I'm gonna read some poems out of my new book. Yeah, I have new poems.
Yeah, new book.
Yeah, new book. I'm excited about that.
What's the new book called?
It's called Heal on Purpose. It's called Heal on Purpose. So this is the prelude to my book. Dear Vision, growth lives on the other side of accountability. There is no app for integrity. Dear Vision, you are 6'7" and afraid of heights. Insecurities are pretty ironic. Wear them like the crown they are not. Dear Vision, you are already 300 pounds. No need to bear any more of the world's weight. I need to tell myself that way more often. Dear Vision, women who say you can tell a man's worth by the way he treats his mother assume all women love their children. Dear Vision, the lack of relationship with your mother doesn't mean you are fractured. It means the womb that birthed you was. Dear Vision, it's okay to not be okay. Pretending you are fine doesn't make you strong. Being honest with yourself does. Dear Vision, heal on purpose. Your scars are just proof that you were there. They do not define you. You determine if they're beacons or tombstones. Dear Vision, you have dermatillomania. The compulsion to scrape the skin from your cuticles, it makes sense. You have always picked on yourself. Dear Vision, contrary to popular belief, leprosy doesn't cause body parts to fall off. They become shorted and deformed like friendships. Dear Vision, your friends often confuse you. Some of them become the person they wish to marry, then wonder why they're dating themselves. I ain't gonna call none of y'all out. Dear Vision, some people are so broken they get mad at you for being whole. Dear Vision, the spending habits of poor people are often criticized, but you know why the caged bird blings. Dear Vision, black men are alchemists, turn our bodies into magnets for bullets, make our wallets look like guns to police. Dear Vision, they will try to make you feel unsafe wearing a black hoodie. They will say he was asking for it, but rock it like peacock feathers and tell them to stop stretch shaming you. Dear Vision, the 5'5" guy talking trash to you has a gun or a death wish. Either way, do not put your fingerprints on his karma. Dear Vision, never be ashamed of your birth name. You are named after your grandfather, a stout Italian man who married an Irish woman in the 50s. You are named after your father, an Irish-Italian man who married a black woman in the 70s. You are proof that falling in love is a revolution. Yes. Dear Vision, you were raised by your white father in North Philly. No black older brothers or uncles around at the time. You were taught to be a black man by a white man and his black friends. What the fuck is irony? Wow. Dear Vision, it's okay to never be the man your father is. He never wanted a clone. Be a man he is proud to call his son and teach his future grandson to be better than you. Dear Vision, this poem will never have an ending. It is your reckoning. It is your providence. As long as you are still breathing, so should this poem. Inhale. So Heal on Purpose is like, when I tell you I got honest with myself, because poets, I feel like a lot of times we are so good, and I say we because I'm a part of this, we are so good at seeing things out in the open and being able to point that out, like, hey, that's wrong, hey, they're not doing that, but like we be so afraid of the mirror. You know what I mean? Like we're so afraid of like talking about ourselves. So when I say I exposed everything in my book, like I've never talked about my mom. You know what I mean? And I'm blessed to have my sister and my older sisters in the crowd, my aunts in the crowd, hey, Randy picked on my nephew, that was messed up. My nephew's in like, I'm so like, I've never talked about my family situations, always like social issues and relationships, because that stuff is easy. But in Heal on Purpose, like I really tried to heal myself, and in the midst, like try to help others heal themselves. So with that said, I'm gonna do an old poem. Because Jody requested it. And it's her birthday.
That's right.
I'm doing a poem. How many of y'all have ever had like a crush before? You had a crush? I don't know, like your crush ended up fucked up, like, you know, dry blow, like, damn, that ain't it too much. How many of you had that crush where like in your mind, like you had wedding patterns picked out and shit?
Oh yeah, honey.
But like you never said hi to that person, no? Every single show, women are always like, that's me. Like, hey, have you ever crushed men? Like, yeah, I had a crush. What about the whole wedding pattern? No, I ain't never do that shit though. You lying. They lying. No, son. This is dedicated to that. because I'm learning that children, the crush is the most like sacred thing in a relationship. It's like it's so pure, and children love like that. And I work with children, and they teach me to keep loving like that. So just dedicated to that. I used to dream of her on occasion, and then sporadic turned to frequent. And in my defense, I never planned on this being the sequence, but I'm flashback to middle school recess feelings when telling a girl how much you liked her was less appealing. So she'd be over there with her friends playing double dutch, and me over here playing football, two-hand touch, waiting for the moment. The QB overthrew me so the ball would land at her so I could stand at her and finally have an opportunity to tell her how I felt. As she reached down to pick up the ball and extend it to me, I'd seductively say, "Girl, I ain't need your help." But that's how it starts. It would ultimately lead to me and her writing our names in the middle of a heart, but I'm flashed back to the present in a rush, and I realize I'm just a grown man with a crush. In reality, it's hit me like a tsunami, yet I still can't help myself asking advice from fortune-telling origami. She loves me not. I need to know. So I kept shaking that damn magic 8-ball until it said that it was decidedly so, and hers was the only name that I wrote down when we played MASH. And she and I were happy with the fortune we had amassed, had a mansion, 3 kids, and lived in Kenya. Then I remembered that I was here and she was somewhere. Yet I still can't fight the fantasy that leads me past any realm of sanity into my own vanity, like she and I can start our own family. Matters not that I'd be Steve Urkel to her Laura Winslow throwing stones up at her window, or Theo Huxtable to her Justine if she would just let me bless her. And I would gladly get my sister to stitch me a bootleg Gordon Gartrell shirt just to impress her. Doesn't make me a lesser man to admit that I ball up like Sonic whenever she's on the premises, because she's been the leading lady in my dream cast since the Genesis. And I want to get to know her. So I prayed to the ancestors of her orgasms for guidance.
Come on, Vision.
And it came to me. And it came to me. A woman's orgasm is mostly mental. Therefore, she doesn't come. She has epiphanies. But I'm flashed back to the present in a rush, and I realize I'm just a grown man with a crush. But I'm way past caring what friends think, way past caring what E says. Gladly, if I want to make her heart jump like Jim Baez and not abuse it, then Kanye sample her heartbeat and freestyle over her beautiful music, and we B-boy, B-girl down the aisle like Soul Train until the credits roll, and we dance off the set like Cliff and Claire to Coltrane until infinity. I'm off beat like rhythmless rhyme. I'm Morris in his prime, searching the day for time, multiplied by forever, divided by the chance of never, and whether she and I ever get together, she will always be my girl. I'll be Dwayne Wayne, and she be Whitley, though we reside in different worlds. Yo, I swear, nobody ever gets the Morris Day time. They never get that. They never get it. It makes me feel so old when I do that. I'm like, no, nobody get no Morris Day fans. Thank you. So, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do something different with my next piece. I've been touring with 2 amazing brothers. One of them is a guy named Just Mike. He's from South Philly, amazing dude. Like really like he's a good dude, funny as hell, regular Philly dude. The other guy, I was his coach in PYPM, and now I'm touring with him, and like he's going from like a mentee to like an actual friend, and he's talented. We're gonna do a little something, you know, a little something. I swear to God, that better not be my phone. That's my phone? Jesus Christ. So unprofessional. Let me see that. Who's that? They're trying to get it. I don't know who that is. It ain't about money. Ain't about money. I ain't asked on stage. Let me put this on. So, everybody get up at Jamar Hall. Lamar is an international poetry slam champion, like of the world, like international of the world. Craig, like he's the man, and he's multi-talented. And it's interesting. This didn't start out being a group piece at all. It was like, yo, I got a piece about that. I got a piece about that too, and it was like, we should do that piece together. And
Word.
then like Mike was like, I got a piece about that too. And it's like, well, damn, like we all went through the same damn thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. See, I already did this beforehand, but then it became undone. So I'm just doing it again. I wrote this poem on one of them nights, because it's always one of them nights. All right, knock, knock. Who's there? My father. Exactly. No, but it's not a sad story. Don't say wow like that. It's not a sad story. 'Cause the first time I met my father, right, I was 16. He had the audacity to ask me where I've been. So I ain't had no words, so I just like started crying and hugged him. But I ain't seen him since. No, it ain't a sad story, y'all. I'm trying to say, if I didn't know my father, I wouldn't be in front of y'all right now. All right, here we go.
You got a way to transition that better, Mark.
Yeah, no, I don't, because it's not a sad story. Okay, we good. Everybody can hear this okay? Yes, sir. All right. I know I gotta hit the switches. Damn, what's on this? I wish this was as easy as television made it seem for us. But the truth is, I didn't come from much. I never knew nothing about a trust fund, just trust none. Anybody can make money, but how well can you keep it? Your mother is very traditional. My father, mythical. I'm from a place where boys learn chivalry from movie screens. I want to give you the world, but the way my bank account's set up, I'll only be able to afford to get us to Jersey. And we'll fill up on some cheap gas and cheap laughs. And just as the sun gets below the horizon, we'll pretend that it's winking at the both of us. I just hope that you're down enough to settle for a puddle when I can't take you to an ocean. I hate gender roles when it's attached to financial spending. I buy this and I buy that, but some days I just don't got it. But that doesn't mean I'm not the man I was when I had it. I went from selling water to pumping gas to shoveling snow. If there's one thing for certain, when I need it, I know how to get it. I'm a hustler. Your mother is very traditional. My father, mythical. We're just two inner city kids, born with plastic spoons in our mouths, just trying to figure this world out, one rock at a time. I don't have enough to be in love, but I want to try my luck on it anyway. Pay the fine, give me the time to bring you the world, one rock at a time. We're too caught up with trying to buy what's not meant to be bought, and too desperate.
I won't pretend that love is always stronger than pride. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes love slips out of pocket when your pride resides in your wallet. When you measure your worth by your monetary worth. Opposites attract like love and pride, like cyclone winds, barrages of breezes like her, an eastern zephyr, and you, a Tarifa Levanta. Together, you were a beautiful storm. Could have been a beautiful struggle if you weren't too afraid to expose your struggle. You were baptized in the struggle. and she wasn't. Her, Winfield house, 2-car garage and manicured lawn. You, North Philly blood stains on concrete corners and broken glass and empty lots. She is now a suburban DC condo. You are check to check, barely making rent. She makes what you dream, and you wouldn't dream of telling her how much you make. She is climbing the corporate ladder, and you are parachuting into your purpose. She is martini and wine after work. You are out at night trying to make it work, and somehow you and her made it work until it didn't. Until she said it didn't. And you wish you told her how much you cared, how much that hurt, but you didn't. You wish you told her how much you sacrificed, but you didn't. Pride is stronger than love, stronger than bonds, stronger than her saying, I can't do this anymore, stronger than please don't call me anymore, stronger than the willpower to never call her anymore. You have committed to it, like you committed to her, like you never told her how committed you were. She doesn't know how many times you spent your last on gas, doesn't know how you sold your laptop to take her to dinner, buy her drinks, buy her whatever she was accustomed to having, with just enough left over to pay the tolls to get back home. She doesn't know how you ate ramen all week just to save up to see her. Doesn't know how creative you were to see her. She, frustrated, thinking you only came to DC because you had gigs. You only took gigs in DC so you could afford to see her. Everything to see her until she said you could no longer see her. And you haven't seen her since. Haven't talked to her since. She will never know the level of your commitment because you never told her. Too focused on trying to show her you were greater than your circumstance. Too focused on trying not to look poor. Maybe she would have loved you more. Regret is a caged cannibal. Unsaid words are tombstones under your tongue. Mausoleums for masculinity. Rest in peace to the winds that once were. We will never know if they were supposed to blow in each other's direction.
I don't have enough for both of us, but I wanna do something nice for you. I spend my last to make it last. If I say a bad joke, just pretend to laugh. We're too caught up with trying to buy what's not meant to be bought, and too emasculated. When a bill comes, I have to tell the waitress she'll take it.
That's it. So I got a couple more pieces. Yeah. I got a couple Jody requests. That's what I'm gonna do. Look at this scarf game. Scarf game on a beam. That scarf.
Okay, I come outside.
Yo, this is my third feature in Philly all year. How crazy is it? I've only featured in my own town 3 times. That's crazy. I featured in Toronto 3 times this year. Only featured in, like, this is crazy. I gotta get
Extra special.
I know, I appreciate that. This guy like offered me a feature at another venue, and he was like, I would have given you a feature, but you know, he was gonna charge me like $3,000. I'm like, nigga, what the hell I charging $3,000? I ain't the same Beyonce money. Like, what the hell? Jody request. Listen, I need to charge. I can charge it, maybe I'm gonna pay that shit. You can ask for it all day. Looks good. When we were little, fireflies wandered from Fairmount Park to 22nd Street. Divine, unfamiliar flying flares floating frivolously through air, they made North Philly look like Times Square. They never had a reason not to love us or trust us, so they would fly over to us and land directly in our palms. But we were insecure adolescents, afraid they never bring their light back to us, so we captured them like slaves and we put them in a jar. We placed grass at the bottom, we poked holes in the top, and showed them all to all our friends like, look what I got. These hollowed heavenly halos These hallowed heavenly halogens made halos out of us. That we lasso lightning, we lasso lightning, we lasso lightning. Played God to these beaming beetles with no thoughts of wrong or right. We just wanted to harness their light, if only for one night. By morning, their light reluctantly dimmed like hope in Hades. I never took responsibility for it. Just thought it was natural for electric angels to burn out like dollar store bulbs. Day two, they stopped trying to climb. They stopped trying to fly. Or once radiating rebellion turned to dim light, they never made it to their third night. Apparently you can die from despair. Apparently you can die from not being able to fly. Lightning bugs are claustrophobic. Ask me how I know. Have you ever had your wings clipped like it was for your own good? Like your freedom was a fungus. Like you being you was wrong. You trapped in a jar made of guilt trips and loaded questions. You can't figure out whether you're in love or you suffer from Stockholm syndrome. You loving, trusting someone who doesn't give you what you need to survive because they don't want to see you fly. Just stay there in perpetual purgatory. There, preserved like pickles. There, your light safely stowed below like luggage. You can only use it if you're leaving. There is no use for your light at home. Home begins to look like North Philly, West Philly, Harlem. There is gentrification in your bedroom. It forecloses your spirit, garnishes your fight, repossesses your freedom, puts a lien on your light. Rent becomes something you can barely pay. You can't leave, can't stay, but you can't leave, can't stay, but can't keep your head above water. So you scratch and survive with thoughts of good times, trying to forget that at one point you could fly. Have you ever had your light accessorize someone's life like a coach bag? Ever had your flight put on display like poached ivory? They love you for what you have, but they hate you because you have it. They love you when you have, but they hate you once they steal it. They forget that a lightless lightning bug is nothing more than a pest. They love you just the way you are. They love you. They say they love you just the way you are. They love you just the way you are. They love you. You're perfect. Now change. They hate you just the way you are. They love you just the way you aren't. They despise and destroy the very thing that made them fall in love with you in the first place. Then they're like, look what I caught. It's amazing and disheartening how self-destructive human beings can be sometimes. We destroy what we love. We enslave what we admire. We knock back in the nail that sticks out. They complain when it's just another brick in the wall. Have you ever tattooed your tears on your tongue just to swallow your pride in the name of love? Ever decided that it's pointless to attempt flight? Because it's not really flying if you're only on a long leash. No matter how much space you give something to breathe, there is no replacement for feeling free. Lightning bugs are claustrophobic. Ask me how I know. I'm gonna do one last piece. That's good? Joe, you good one? All right, I'm gonna do one. So somebody asked for a piece, and I'm not going to do it tonight because I feel like I'm running short on time. But new book. New book. I'm excited about it. The cool thing about this book, since it's like a composition book, I decided to be in my teacher bag. And for those, I get a lot of requests. I get 2 requests out of people like that are new, and I love talking to new artists on the scene, any scene. And the two things are what like motivates you, like what are the things that like how do you write? And it's a really strange question, and if you're an artist, that's like, how do you answer that question? But what I did is, in the back of the book, I put notes on every single poem. Where I was at in the world, what I was listening to, what I was eating, just everything. I got documents, like a mini journal for every piece. Like the piece I did with Jamar is called Zephyr on Empty. I was listening to Sade's Love is Stronger Than Pride, obviously. It was a prop that Greg gave me, because this piece happened like 6 years ago, and Greg was like, remember that time you was dealing with that girl, and that stuff happened? I'm like, yeah, you gotta write about it. I'm like, shit. And I was in an airport, like I was in Chicago O'Hare Airport. I saw like and the most important thing is, if anybody wants to ask, do not write your pieces in the same place. Like, every time I write a piece in my bedroom, it sounds like the last piece that was written in my bedroom. It's the same feeling. You know, I would like go in different places, like get the hell out the house, get on the train, like go somewhere else when you write your pieces. It'll sound different. I swear to you. Also, in the very back, I got writing prompts. Writing prompts, because I'm a teacher and I teach children poetry. So I got some adult writing prompts. And get your mind out the gutter. It's not like that. But just different writing prompts in the back, right? Come up with 15 different synonyms for heal. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. I got a ton of books on me, but no, not a ton. I got a couple books on me, so.